Hello everyone, welcome to another video on good old Tamerlane Chess. This video I thought we'd concentrate a little bit on Tamerlane Chess notation because there really is no notation for Tamerlane Chess, and it's useful for not only if you want to record a game that you play of Tamerlane Chess, but also for, I was thinking soon in the future of doing some Tamerlane Chess problems, a video on actually chess problems that you solve like in regular chess. There's none of those in Tamerlane Chess. I've made a few. I thought we could do a video about solving some chess problems. So in order to give you the solution to the problem, you'll need to know the notation for Tamerlane Chess. So for those two reasons, I thought it'd be a good idea to come up with a chess notation. This notation is just my own creation. You're free to use something different or disagree or agree with it. It's just something that I came up with that seems like it would be convenient for the game. And it's based on algebraic notation in regular chess that they use in tournaments. The most common notation used in regular chess is the algebraic. It's pretty quick and easy. So I'm going to use that here. I've seen a couple games of Tamerlane Chess reported in books, recorded, and one of the books is John Gollin's book where he talks about different ancient forms of chess. The notation he uses is very long and cumbersome, so that's why I thought I'd come up with the more streamlined, easy, user-friendly algebraic notation. So this video is going to assume you know a little bit about what algebraic notation already is in regular chess. So the way algebraic notation works is you designate a capital letter for the piece, like the king would be a capital K, and then you follow that capital letter of the piece with the letter and number designation of the square you land on. So in regular chess, there's only 8, but in Tamerlane Chess, there's 11 files, so we go A through K, and there is 10 ranks, so we go 1 through 10 on the ranking. So if I were to move, say, my camel from here to here, right here, that is moving it to G3, the G3 square. So the way you'd write that is capital letter C for camel, lowercase g, 3. Capital C, lowercase g, followed by a 3. The identifier of the piece, followed by the arrival square. So the question is, what letters did I use for all the Tamerlane chess pieces? And here is what I did. Most of them I used the letter for the English form of the word. A couple of them, like the vizier and furs, I used the Persian V and F for vizier and furs instead of minister, counselor, advisor. The reason I did that is because whoever you read, they use a different term, English term for those pieces. Some people say minister. Other people I've read say that's misleading. It should be spiritual counselor or just counselor. Same thing with advisor. Some people call the advisor the counselor. So I just used vizier and furs for those two. For the talia, the piece that moves like the bishop, I just thought it was more intuitive to use a B, more recognizable as a bishop. Of course, the knight, you use an N because the K is already used for the king. Giraffe, G, elephant, C, camel, war machine, W. So those right there are the letters that I've used for each of the pieces. Okay, so there's two examples. The rook moving to F4 square would be written like that, and if you move your vizier to the C9 square, would be written like that in algebraic notation. Now, if you happen to capture a piece after a move, you don't denote a capture by using an X before the arrival square. So the giraffe would move to C5. If there was no capture, it would just be GC5. But if the giraffe here moves over to C5, captures a piece, it's written GXC5. So the designation of the piece followed by an X, meaning takes, and then the arrival square. Now, another question that might come up is if you have some ambiguity, like you see the two camels here, they can both land on this square here, which happens to be E5. So you have to, when you move one of these to a square where either one could land, that's ambiguity. You've got to clear up which one you moved. So the way you do that is you write the file. You write the name of the piece, C for camel, then the letter of the file it started on, and then the piece that it landed on, the square that it landed on. So that would look like this. He starts on file B. So you would write CB, E5. The camel started on file B and ended up on square E5. Now, if they're both, and you do that with the file, not the rank, if possible. So what happens if both camels are on the same file? Then you have to designate it by saying the rank. So the camel moving from here to here at that point, since they were both on the same file, he was on rank 5, and the other camel was on rank 4. The other camel was rank 6. So now instead of writing it CB E5, you'd write it C4 E5 because both camels were on the same file. So you have to use the rank designation to distinguish between the two. So just some other things, just like in regular chess, a check is written with a plus sign. So if you put the other person's king in check, you write a plus sign after the regular notation that you've written. Checkmate is a pound sign after the notation you've written. And the funny thing is, in stalemate, in regular chess, stalemate's a draw, there's actually no symbol for stalemate in regular chess. Sometimes they just write draw by stalemate, they write it out. Sometimes they just don't write anything. Sometimes they write 0.5/0.5, which indicates a draw. Each person gets half a point. But in this game, we know stalemate's a win. If you put someone in stalemate, you win. So another way sometimes the checkmate is written in regular chess is 2 plus signs. So in this game, I'll designate a checkmate specifically as a pound, and a stalemate, which is also a win, I'll use for the 2 plus signs for that. So what about when your king swaps, when he's put in checkmate or stalemate for the first time and you swap him for one of your other pieces? I just came up with EX standing for exchange, a king exchange, and I put it in quotes so you don't get confused. Sometimes the lower letter E followed by an X will show up in a capture, so I put it in quotes so that wouldn't be confusing. So it would look like this. If your if your king was got put in check and you decided to swap him with a piece that's, say, this piece up here, his king got put in check, he swapped him up here on E10 with his dababa, that would be written king exchanged with E10. He was put in check or checkmate and then swapped with the dababa on E10. Promotion is always an equal sign. So when a pawn promotes, if you go up, he moves here to, this would be written as just F9, and then when he goes finally to F10, this piece here is a talia, which I does note a B for bishop. It would just be written F10 equals sign, and then the piece that he promoted to, which is bishop. So it would look like this. F10 equals bishop. That's a pawn promotion. I designated the citadel. Since the citadel has no letter or number designation, I designate letters HN because Persian, the word they use for citadel is Husin, Husin or Husin. So I designated it as HN. So a king going into the citadel would just be KHN, K for king, HN. And then there's two different things you can do. You can either declare that a draw, which almost always happens because there's almost never a prince or adventitious king on the board. So you would just write KHN and then write out draw, is just how I did it. Or if you want it, as we know in the rules of Tamerlane Chess, you can also switch with your adventitious king or prince if they happen to be on the board, which was not much utility to that, but it is in the rules. So you would write that K, Husin, exchange with the prince or the adventitious king who was on D4 at the time. That's how you'd write that up. And then last thing, that reminded me that I didn't give you the letters for the adventitious king or prince because they come up so rarely. I just came up with AK for adventitious king and P for prince. So there you have the notation that I've come up with that you can agree with or disagree with or use whatever you want. So soon I'll be making a video on, we'll be solving a few chess problems. And so when I give the solutions to those chess problems, I'll give the solutions in notation. So now I'll explain them, but also give them in notation, and then you'll be able to understand that after watching this video. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.